Hey guys, Roxxy Sims here, and I have a Get Famous speed build for you today. I'm building a 1970s mid-century modern family home. I am very excited about this one. This one is so fun because if you don't already know, mid-century modern architecture and interior design is a bit funky, and 1970s design and architecture was also pretty funky. So you put them together and, I don't know, you're going straight to Funky Town or something. Oh, goodness. My point is it's funky. It's a little weird, but I love it. It has the typical 70s colors going on. So the orange, the olive green, and brown. So, yeah, it's like this weird, it's got this weird balance of being like ugly, but pretty at the same time. I always think these like 70s builds are just, they're ugly. I know they are, but they're cool at the same time. I don't know how they have accomplished that, but it's a pretty cool accomplishment if you ask me, and I think this build totally fits with that as well. It's funky, it's fresh, it's cool. It's got it going on. Oh god, you guys, I'm gonna be like channeling the 70s throughout this entire voiceover. I have a feeling. I mean, I guess it could be the 70s. It's what I know of the 70s from like TV, because I wasn't alive in the 70s. Who am I to know? I will try to keep the 70s vibe to a minimum, I promise. Okay, guys, well, I want to talk a little bit about this roof. I had to have the, like, funky, angled... Oh, God, I said funky again. Ugh. The angled roof. It's not funky, it's just a roof and it's angled. And I had to have, like... I wish that we had those windows that, like, are triangles and they fit the roof angles. Do you know what I'm talking about? I really wish that we had those because those are so mid-century modern, and that would have been really nice. But I put the tiny little windows up on the roof part, so that kind of fill in for those triangular windows, because like most of my builds, this one is custom content free, so sometimes you gotta get a little creative and just hope that something has the right vibe, gives the same vibe that you're going for. So that's what I hope these do. I hope you get the idea. I haven't even put them up yet, but you'll see here in just a few minutes. But right here, I'm putting in these like breezeway kind of areas, because like that apparently was huge in mid-century modern homes. And so yeah, these came with the jungle pack, and they work perfectly for this. They really do. I'm also, of course, putting in the carport because that was also huge. And I also put these, here's the windows that I'm talking about, that I wish were triangular to fit the roof angles. But anyways, so I put in the carport, and I also put in these like little planters in front of the carport area and by the fireplace outside. Yeah, so these right here, those were huge too. Like, that was a huge thing in mid-century modern design, is to have those planters. And they even had those planters inside their house. So yeah, it was a little weird. But I put one inside my house too. You'll see that. I think I put it in like the very end. But I'm like, I gotta have a planter inside the house. That was a big thing. And any chance to put like, the weird little things that they did in design back then, any chance to put that in this house, I took that. I mean, can you blame me? It's, not every day that you get to put a built-in planter into a house, am I right? I have not built that many. It's been a while since I've built a real deal, like, family house. A 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom family house. It's been a long time since I've built that. I don't know what the deal is lately with me. I've just been like, I've been in a really like cozy cottage mood, and also more like retail space or restaurants, or just not homes as much. I don't know why. So finally, I have built a family home again. It's about time. I had been wanting to build a mid-century modern house for a while now, but I didn't really want to build, like, I haven't been craving to build like a new mid-century modern house. Like, so people will build houses nowadays and style it in the mid-century modern style, and that's not really what I wanted to build. I wanted to build a house that was like actually built near the middle of the century. So that's why I'm going with this 1970s house. Oh, by the way, I started off thinking it was going to be a 1960s mid-century modern, but then I looked through more of the stuff and I'm like, no, I'm totally making these 70s. So that's why it'll say 1960s for a while in the top left corner, but I changed that to 1970s. So just FYI. But yeah, I was wanting to build an actual like old mid-century modern home, and so this Get Famous pack really has been the perfect thing, because they have a lot of mid-century modern stuff that looks like it could have actually have been from the mid-century. So it like, I got so excited when I saw all this stuff. I'm like, oh, I can make a real deal mid-century modern home. Yay! Because I feel like a lot of the mid-century modern stuff that we already had was very modern looking. Like, actually modern. Like, current modern. You know what I mean. And I was really wanting the actual old looking stuff. And this pack has just really delivered that to me. And have you actually looked at this furniture? Okay, so if you haven't, take the time, like, in your game to get out some of this mid-century modern furniture and really look at it, like, get really, really close. The fabric on it is phenomenal. Like, you can see the texture in all the fabric. It looks fantastic. I love this furniture. I really do. This pack has like, it has made me forget to like eat and sleep. It's gotten me that excited to build that I really don't want to do anything else. I just want to build. I don't want to eat or sleep. I just want to do this. Like, I'm actually concerned for my health a little bit, you guys. I'm dehydrated. Send help. Okay, so let me explain this fireplace thing that's going on right here. So we don't have these are the typical fireplaces you see in a mid-century modern home. And of course we don't have that. So I am making a pretend fireplace. So it's gonna look like the real fireplaces that they have really back then. I also think we could have really used, one of those like freestanding fireplaces that are like circular and they're really like bright colored and they're mid-century modern. We really could have used that in this pack, but since we don't have that, this is my solution to the fireplace problem. I actually put in, the fire pit inside of this fireplace. So you'll see like, when I'm doing like the tour, you'll see it actually, there's a fire in there really happening. So it's not entirely functional. Like, you can make it have fire. It just won't last that long. Because, on a real fireplace, you light that fire and it like lasts forever. It will not do that. You have to just take it out, and then I had my sim light it, and then I just went back in build mode and just put it in there. So that's how I, did that. Did you see too that I put in a bar with a mirror behind it? Isn't that the most 70s thing? They always had like bars throughout like the whole house, Oh, it's a new room, we need a new bar. So I put this little green bar here. And the mirrors, they loved mirrors, and with the shelves in front of it. And I had a lot of fun decorating all these shelves in the fireplace and above the bar. So here's all the stuff that I'm putting on these shelves. I'm filling it up, because when I looked at pictures of real houses back then, they always had these shelves full of stuff and full of books and little knickknacks and things. So I had fun putting all that stuff on here. One of my absolute favorite new items in this pack is the record player. Oh my goodness. You saw me place it just a little bit ago. I adore it. I think it's so wonderful. I'm gonna have to fight myself from putting it in every single build that I do from now on. It is just so cool. And record players are they're back in style now, They have taken CDs out of stores and are now putting back records, which is kind of hilarious. It really is. I laugh about it every time I think about it. But that's the truth. People are listening to records nowadays. I really want a record player. I think, that would just make me feel really cool. Also, I haven't got to experience a record player very much before. People say that the music sounds a lot better. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'd like to find out if it is. So, I gotta have one. It will happen eventually, I'm sure. So guys, I told you that I've just been really wanting to build a mid-century modern home, which is true, but that's not the only reason that I am building this house. I potentially have some ulterior motives. Potentially. I'm not quite sure. But what I was thinking is that I might use this house maybe for a Let's Play. I'm just not sure. So when Seasons came out, I started a Let's Play, and it turns out that Let's Plays make me very nervous. I get very, very nervous doing the talking and the playing at the same time. I'm I start to panic a little bit, And so I'm not entirely sure that I want to do one, but I also really want to do one. Do you see the dilemma? I want to, but it's scary, So I'm potentially making it for that. I want to tell you a little bit of the story. It's not a huge story or anything, but I was just thinking about it. I thought this would be a fun thing to play out. But I'm from the Midwest, and I think of moving to LA as being a huge deal. Because that's what people do. They move from places like where I live to LA to get, exposure and become famous and model and act and do all those fun things. So I was thinking I'd have maybe two girls. One wants to be an actress. So they live in the Midwest and they want to move out to LA together. And one wants to be an actress, and she's kind of like a beauty guru type of girl. And she's like a full-on actress and wants to be a thespian and a very serious actress. But the other one wants to move to LA to have a little bit of fame as well, but more so in the direction of video games. So be like a video game streamer, be a YouTuber. She also wants to move to LA because that's where the GeekCon type of events happen, at least in real life. So I'm going to go with that in the game as well. So yeah, she wants to move to LA for that reason. And they have kind of seized the opportunity to move because this house, one of the girls' great uncles has left this house to her. So, it's a way to move to LA. Well, Del Sol Valley, same difference. So it's their opportunity to come out to California, leave their old lives behind, try to come out here and really make it. And I'm sure that other people have named their famous Let's Plays this, but I want to call it the up-and-comers. Because that's the whole point of it. So, yeah, that is a potential idea. So the girls, live in this house, and it's maybe not their style per se, but I think the girl whose uncle it is kind of, like, can dig this house. It's cool to her. She likes it. But also I wanted to let you know that's kind of why I'm not going to record me decorating the 2 guest bedrooms, because they're not very mid-century modern. Because, I am making it for either the Let's Play or just for me to just play on my own free time. So those bedrooms are more styled to what those girls are needing. So one of them is going to be like a beauty guru type bedroom, and then the other one is going to be more of the, like, office. So the room where they do the recording for, like, their streaming and whatnot, YouTube and whatnot. So they're not as mid-century modern as the rest of the house. So I didn't really record them. Also, the video was getting a little long, so I didn't really record those. But you can, if you want to go ahead and make this like a totally family home, those can easily be changed. You can just put some kid stuff in them, and there you go, some kid rooms. Not that you need my permission or anything, but I formally give you permission to change it in any which way that you need to fit your needs. So let me tell you about, like, the backstory that I was thinking for this house. Why this house is, current, yet it looks like it's from the 1970s. So the story that I was thinking of is that this house was owned by a man who was like a young guy in the 70s, and he bought this house, and he was like kind of a big deal. Like, not like a really famous guy, but like he hung out with a lot of like famous people, a lot of famous musicians and comedians and actors and stuff like that. And he had them over a lot, and they hung out a lot he hung out with all of those guys. And he just, like, he was like a bachelor type of guy, had a lot of really good memories in this house, and that was like his time. The 70s were just the best years for him. And as time went on, as decades passed, the 80s, the 90s, he didn't change anything in his house. He wanted it to remain exactly as it was when he was younger, holding on to those glory days, you know what I mean? And maybe he just still really thinks this style is just cool, Like, I figure this house was really cool back then, I think it had, like, the newest fashion and the newest design, so I think this house was cool, so he still really thinks of it as being cool. Hey, could I possibly say the word cool anymore in this video? I don't know. Let's find out. So I think of this guy as being, like, pretty well off. Like, this is a pretty nice house, for back then especially, and especially for LA, a good sized house for LA. So when he bought it, this house was nice. And it still would be a very expensive house in LA. But I think that, this house, like, isn't in the best area. So I imagine it starting off in a really nice area. But then, like, in the 80s, this is, like, by that highway. So I, like, in the 80s, they, like, put in this highway. So now his house is, right next to a highway. Not in the best area. But it started off being in a really great area. So, that's my story for this. I got really deep into the storyline for this house. I just thought about it a lot. Yeah. Also, you'll see me here in a little bit put in a couple of fruit trees. So I put in, like, two avocado trees and a lemon tree. Because being from the Midwest, and not really, I've never been to California. So I just assume literally everyone in California has fruit trees. So I had to put some fruit trees, as one does, you know. Well, guys, we are to the end. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you have liked it, the full-on 70s vibe of it. If you do like it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye, everybody.